Hello everyone, my name is Andrea. Greetings from Milano. Today with me there is Mrs. Elena Sacco,
Hello.
the course leader of the Master in Branding here at Raffles Milano.
Welcome, everyone.
We have this wonderful master and we decided to involve the coordinator of the course leader, to have a brief and insight of what students can learn and benefit from being students here at Raffles Milano. So the first question I would like to ask you, Elena, is kind of introduce yourself. I know you have quite a long history, kind of 14 years history in branding and education. So can you share a bit about yourself, your background?
So, how old am I? I started my career actually in communication and marketing, but definitely, let's say after just 1 year, I turned into branding and I felt completely in love in branding. I started my career in branding first in the publicist group, but most of all at Landor. And I used to say that was the most memorable part of my life. And I've been traveling around the world, consulting in branding with Landor and the major brands here in Italy, but also on global scale. And that was definitely amazing. Then I worked also in JWT, inside the WPP group. So many. Then I moved also to relationship marketing. Then in Younger Rubicon Brands, working on brands and advertising. And then I opened up my own firm. So now I'm a brand consultant. Some years ago, I've been contacted by a couple of institutions asking me to teach in branding. So I started this path. And let's say since the last 14 years, I've been working with wonderful students and to develop their careers and competencies in branding. So here we are. And I'm grateful that Raffle asked me to lead this master in branding because most of the branding consultancy and agency started to knock at my door in the last year, let's say, asking me really new profiles and new people to enroll into their companies, but most of all to create a new set of competencies for new brand consultants, because the world has really changed, mostly in branding.
I see brands are always looking for new talents. That's why we're here. I say from your bio that you travel a lot, but somehow we are in Milano. Everything, brings the journey here. So probably Milano is very important for the industry, for the design, also for branding, isn't it?
Absolutely agree. Milano is becoming the place to be for many reasons. First of all, because most of the capitals, even in Europe, they had trouble struggling, and even the professionals are really or coming back home or working here. So we have enrolled a lot of professionals that are teaching in this course that are belonging to USA, Brazil, Asia, and whatever. So Milano is becoming a point of reference, definitely. But most of all, I would say that is a place that is vibrant. Vibrant means a place where you easily still, because the dimension is still walking distance. You can find industries, you can find consultancy firms, agencies, and you can even enrich your background in design because of the global design week held in April, the fashion shows. So it's really a focal point, I think, for brands, companies, and consultants, to work and set up this beautiful environment. So generally, my students are always quite satisfied about the experience in this town. On one side, it's also a safe place to stay, and we should not forget about it. And then this school is terribly welcoming, because this school is open from 8 in the morning to 10 in the evening, and there are spaces everywhere to stay, to study, the cafeteria to eat, to meet with the colleagues. So even now that we are talking
Yeah.
about classes, and I see a lot of students coming, beautiful, from all over the world. So many different cultures,
It's a melting
nationalities.
pot,
It's
right? Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why the Raffle Network decided to open a campus, a school here. We'd like to mention that Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, China, India as well, Saudi Arabia, and of course Milano. We are the Western hub of one of the largest, if not the largest, design network abroad, which is roughly, yeah. So the topic is why Milano is a very important place, is a melting pot of there are students from everywhere, but also the experience of studying brand design is also linked with Singapore, and this is something very unique.
Yeah. Let me add something. In this course, this is another, I think, milestone in branding. Our students are studying not only design, but even strategy, management, because the industry out there is asking to us for what we call the hybrid profiles. That means on one side, managers or designers that are able really completely to manage the design and the branding process. This means that on one side, they need to learn about how to deal with the structure of the project management itself, even becoming an entrepreneur by themselves, learning exactly how to develop their own company or their own brands if they're going to do that, but both on the creative side, the visual side, the sound side, whatever you want, and the strategic side, because the market now is asking for this. How are we doing this? The location is Milano. That is really a sort of magnet of professionals, as I told you, coming from all over the world. But in the same time, they are going to travel and have an experience, a very good one, in Singapore. Why? Because Asia now is the sun that is rising, as everybody knows. Everything is happening there. And most of the branding agency, they have headquarters there. So our students will spend their time at Lonsdale, that is a beautiful international branding agency, working with professionals on a client job. Together with the client, they will present to the client and they will do this project. But at the same time, they will also meet professionals, like for example, Firebrand India, that will fly over to Singapore to teach them how to set up a branding business in Asia with their experience. And many different consultants of different nationalities that are connected and working there. So I think the experience is definitely international.
Yeah, I saw the curriculum, the syllabus is like there is a foundation basis just to level up the class, and then there is a part of analysis, studies, to understand how the market is going, and then, you know, from time to time, month after month, the student build the competences to create their own brand or revamp a brand, and work really from A to Z, have a full to be full aware of what they have to be and what they are required to do when they enter in the job market. So this is from A to Z a complete experience.
It is, because nowadays, as I told you, the market is asking to have 360 professionals, and so they have to know everything from scratch, but then I think also becoming change agent, because if you know the whole process and if you practice a lot with your hands on projects, you can really even take to another level your products, your brands and projects and whatever it is. It's going to be quite rich and intense, because as we said, we will start with the basis, but then we will jump immediately into hands-on modules, as we call them. So CBA Design, that is the French consultancy, will work mostly on the branding agency model and tools and competencies. Then we have Interbrand, that will work on brand thinking and making with a lot of different classes. Landor will be what I call the wild card. Landor will teach empowering branding. So they will be inside each study program during each month, really to change the perspective.
It's quite disruptive.
Exactly, to disrupt the branding process. Then we're gonna have BCMEA, the Branded Content Global Marketing Association. The vice president will come to us for brand storytelling. And then what about brand communication? We need that. That's the creative part, and probably the one that people knows the most. We will have Ligas Delane to come over and teach. And then we're gonna have a couple of intense long workshop on the brand design with Sasha Vidakovic Design flying over from London. And then this is interesting, London, and then we're gonna have Smith Brand Design flying over from Stockholm for the same subject. So you can see definitely the two perspectives. Then we will dig into digital business transformation. That's so important. Deloitte will be our partner. And then Pricewaterhouse. Why? PricewaterhouseCoopers. We need project management. We need to talk about CX, so customer experience. We need also to talk about the purpose of brands. So they will lead definitely this part. Then a special guest, the vice president of Rotis, the global brand Rotis, will fly over from New York straight to teach about brand sustainability. That is such an important topic nowadays. And then what about brand-led business transformation? And that is going to be future brand territory. So it's up to them. And inside all these experiences, we will have real project works. We will have one business case to work on fashion brands and fast-moving consumer goods. So I think it will be quite rich and interesting for our.
It's a 360 experience. I see big names, big brands, but it's like learning from the master. So we're gathering a team of high skilled professionals, vice presidents, chairman, CEO, let's say people that do their job for quite a while, and they're able to share their experience in a class that, again, is from, we expect our students from every part of the world. So also this is part of the study experience to get in touch with different cultures, to understand how to tackle different markets. For example, Firebrand is an Indian brand, and they will fly to Singapore and they will have workshop with our class. So what I'm going to ask you is, like, Elena, when I will finish this master, what can I do? What will be my future as a brand expert?
On one side, I think consultancy will be probably one of the most important job that you can take because now consultancy is so much growing in the branding market, and probably, I don't know if guys, but the market is based generally on three kind of levels. The first one is the branding agency that are the most important globally, Landor, Interbrand, Futurebrand. They are all, yeah, and they are with us. But on the other side, there are brands themselves like Rotis or Coca-Cola and whatever. That means the company, the brand itself. And then we have the consultancy, pure consultancy, like Pricewaterhouse or Deloitte, that has been consulting forever, but they really dig into branding now because it's one of the top important resources for their clients. So this is it. So back to your question, I think consultancy, but if we want to give a little bit of job titles, you can become after a while a brand director, so become a brand consultant and then a brand director for sure. Then definitely the designer manager. Nowadays, if you want to be a designer manager in a brand or in a company, you need to have branding skills. So that's for sure. And then you can definitely become also a strategist or a brand, a product brand manager. That is another part very important. But honestly, in my experience and knowing these new generations, I'm expecting a lot of entrepreneurs. People that are going exactly like Firebrand in India with our Ankita, that are going to open up and start up their business. That can be consulting, but even it can be launching their own brand.
It's your own journey.
Why not? I think so.
I'd say a key feature of this master course, the master branding here in Raffles, is that we are not a business school, right? But being inside the design, like students are immersed They are like here with the labs of fashion design, the labs of product design. They share the spaces and part of the study experience with other typology of students, right? So I think that studying this master in this environment is something that brings to them something different, blend their skills, and on top of that is something that, you know, it brings more to their approach as a designers, brand designers. This is very important.
I think there are a lot of hidden secrets in this wonderful school. The first one is what you said, this melting pot of different. It's not only disciplines; it's really behaviors, I would say. And for example, the students will take the challenge also of the 72 hours project. The 72 hours means that the school stops for 3 days, full days. The students can even sleep in our school, and we are fully organized for that. And they will work on real briefings for companies. But how? Not course by course, but it will be a joint venture between courses, master, and even 3 years of working together. So you are studying branding, but you can work with definitely the photography master students or the fashion and business master. You know what I mean?
They're learning from one or two
Absolutely.
each other. Right?
Yeah, so that will be quite interesting. And then, as you mentioned, it's a place where you can definitely experiment and test even yourself. So, for example, now we are in the podcast room. The podcast room is fully available for all our students, and most of all the master students will have their own podcast to interview big names and important designers, creatives or managers coming over to the school. That's another chance to test yourself and try something. So it's quite interesting, I would say, here. But I don't want to spoiler everything because you have to experience by yourself.
Yes. I say usually, Elena, we travel, we meet students from all over the world. And sometimes when they see the curriculum, they say, is this for me? Am I fitting for the master? Do I have the right cards to get in the course? I think that this master is really horizontal. So it's open for students that have a degree in economics, in philosophy, designers. We don't require students that are, needle and stitch or able to create incredible 3D Adobe illustration, whatever. This is a master which is suitable for everyone as long as they have the passion and the willing to dig inside this the depth of the branding.
And that's a crucial point. Which are the curricula and the kind of background that you need to have to take this course? On one side, it's top important for this class, as we said, to be hybrid, because this is what the market is asking. So both people coming from a humanistic or even business universities or work or background, but even communication, design and creativity. So it's lovely to have this diversity inside the class. But in the same time, what has to move them? I think you use a very good word that is passion, but curiosity probably also. It's not only passion, it's curiosity. People that are really willing to learn something new and in such a beautiful environment, because this school is completely, I would say, a word itself. It's a word of sustainability, experiment, testing, challenges, but also people they are going on very well together. Also in terms of bonds that you can create and relations.
There's a community of designers here.
I would say that. And then what is happening is that during some part of the years, you can experiment and taste really the town itself as you mentioned, Milano. So the design week, the fashion weeks, but also and now we have also the graphic week in Milano. We are part of the Pride. So and now
during the Pride month.
Yeah, there's the Pride month in June, and we are active part, and our students are actively producing, let's say, materials and making their own exhibition of their work. We have a couple of students that already were consulting for during a didactical activity for Levi's brand, and creating this amazing photo shooting for the Pride. So it's like there are so many occasions.
We are part of the territory.
Absolutely, and you just need to catch them and enjoy the ride. So that's the point.
So we wait you and the Porta Venezia Design District, right? I have a question for you, Elena. So we are talking about the trends in design. I know how much is important for a brand that people fall in love with brands for their history, but at a certain point of time they have to renew themselves. It's not easy, it's very challenging. So that's why this master, I think, truly brings the tools to the designers of the future to stay in line with the market and bring something new for the brands. So do you have any suggestion, any insight of the current trends in the design sector?
While you're talking, there are a couple of words that are crossing my mind. The first one definitely is about long term, medium long term. After a lot of experimentations, maybe too much linked to communication field and whatever, I think brands has understood that it's not about just solving the issue in the next 6 months and just go with a strong advertising campaign, whatever it is. No. Everyone needs strategy and definitely positioning. So strategy is the keywords, and this is why also the market is asking us for profiles that are able to manage creativity with a strategic mindset. So that is the first keyword, strategy. But the second thing, I think, is the word cross. Why cross? Because what is happening is that the media, the point of touch are all becoming crucial and important all together in the same approach to the market for brands. And this is something that has been very difficult to understand. And I think the big mistakes that happened in the last few years is that some brands were too much conservative and just stick to their own positioning and maybe offline activities and whatever. Then it jumped in the digital, and the digital started to be maybe the main most important thing. The perspective has to be integration. So the cross channels and cross different point of touch is the answer. Because if you do right on one side and wrong on the other, you affect the whole brand. So you need really, in a very probably strategic, as we said, way, coordinated way to drive your brands towards. So probably this is what is happening now on the market.
I say that this course fits well because there are different brands and different professionals that can tackle and make an analysis and challenge students for every single part of what they're required to do when they will become designer, when they face the challenge of the job market, right? A very last question, any suggestion for the students? I'd say this course is going to start in November this year, and it's 450 hours. So it's quite, quite a chunk, a lot of hours, full time. So what they will expect is like a very strong, full depth experience.
Also is quite interesting of this course because it's not I think the kind of structure of the course is really trying to enable the creativity and the self-expression of everybody. Let me explain. The roadmap is classes in the morning, and then afternoon it's time to work on projects, on the project that we mentioned or the exercise that our consultants and teachers and managers, as we said, or designers will assign to our students. Plus, there are a few weeks where it will be day and afternoon because we have experts flying over just to spend in workshops full days with the students and working together. So it's not I give you the class. We work
It's a
together.
lab.
Exactly. It's a lab. So probably the structure is like this. And then during the summertime, there will be the trip to Asia with the Singapore experience. And then, so I think this is going to reach a lot the perspective. So basically, I think the rhythm is quite sustainable, even for the students, because they can organize quite easily classes and then project works and then of course the experience in Singapore. What is going to happen at the end of the course anyway is also all the part dedicated to the personal branding, because we want to prepare our students really to be up to speed for job market. So we will teach them portfolio, we will teach them how to write a proper CV and make it really powerful and getting the best jobs hopefully around. And then definitely at the last part of this study experience, they will work on the final project assigned by a company, of course.
Amazing. So, well, thanks for this wonderful introduction of the course. Well, introduction is not the right word. It was a complete
Deep dive.
Yeah, deep dive. And we are available for any further question from the international marketing department. And again, thanks for this master class, and see you the next time.
Thank you. Bye.